like I was saying earlier, a definite part of Tom's strategy, at least early on, had seemed to be setting up those pots where he 3-bets and continuation bets to pick up 10 or 11 big blinds.
Castello, you look like literally your eyes are popping out of your head.
I forget, like, you know, how awesome the standard day-to-day feeling of life is.
Up to 3,000.
Come on, buddy. Serious pot.
How awesome it is to find the aces.
Re-raise. Up to 30,000 total.
First 4-bet of the match from Tom
Yeah.
that we've seen.
Yeah, and he's got aces. And he's picked a good time to do it, too. Sammy almost can't help but lose a lot of money here.
I mean, this obviously a cooler, but is it an automatic re-raise here for Sammy?
Oh, but if you're going to re-raise anything here, you're going to re-raise ace-king. There's maybe an argument to be made for just calling the 4-bet with all the hands you want to continue with. But if you're going to be 5-betting anything, you should probably be 5-betting ace-king.
113,000 total.
And that's about half of effective stacks. He's pretty much effectively moved all in. He's not going to fold if Tom shoves.
Come on.
Call.
Yeah, he calls immediately.
Yeah,
He knew he'd commended himself there. And you can't blame him. Getting 250 big blinds in with ace-king is really pretty standard in a heads-up match.
nice hand.
Just horrible luck to have run into aces here.
It's a complete cooler, and this is going to be the first huge swing of the match.
King,
There's
king.
486,000 in this pot, and
Unless they run out of chop.
Oh, spades, but no. 8-9.
That's what Sammy's asking for. It's almost there.
4 or 9.
8 outs to chop.
God, he almost kind of pull for it for all things to be even, huh?
So close. Got a feel for Sammy here.
Oh.
There's nothing he can do.
Oh, how painful. And, I mean, you have to take a long view here, but when you're playing No Limit Hold'em, things like this, they never even out, do they?
No, not really. I mean,
Not in one lifetime.
Yeah.
yeah.
245,
Yeah, especially in...
257. Yeah, should be total.
It's not like you're playing 501k
Yeah, give it up,
heads up all
250.
day, every day.
Of course.
And after a real back-and-forth battle here,
Aces,
Sammy is
ace,
stuck
king.
250k
What a
on
cooler.
brutal cooler.
If I had 500k, I wouldn't get
Back to the full tilt poker Durrrr $1 Million Challenge, and wow, 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 Isaac. I mean, what do you tell yourself if you're Sammy? What will he tell himself?
Raise up to 3,000.
What you should tell yourself is there was nothing I could do. I had ace-king, he had aces. But after such a big pot, it's really tempting to beat yourself up, look for ways it could have gone differently, reasons you should have known he had aces.
Check.
Are you a firm believer in it's not the big pot, it's how you play after the big pot, or is that just what they say?
I mean, the big pot makes a pretty big difference. And he's got some work to do to make up for that. But it's certainly up to him whether it goes downhill from here or not.
Good little comebacker for Sammy here. If the ace
Yeah,
wasn't
it's a
good enough.
pretty scary board, though. I think he'd rather not hit that card, so he's more likely to get another bet in from Tom.
3 minutes before trying to bluff you after that hand.
And yet again, Tom makes a fold on the
I think 3
river.
minutes is enough, but to
I
do
think
it in
Sammy
the
should
first
be
3
looking
minutes
for
is-
spots to
can't
bluff
be a good
Tom on
idea.
the end.
Yeah. That would really tilt me even more.
I'm not sure Tom's called a river bet from Sammy yet.
It's a very interesting point. Not that I can recall. What else do you see in these stats as they're evolving?
They're actually holding pretty steady relative to the last couple times the screens popped up. Tom continues to be the more aggressive player with the number in the low 80s to Sammy's number in around 65.
That Tom has won 42 pots pre-flop. Sammy's only won 27. Does that sort of mean that Sammy is sort of just giving up in the big blind more often, or
I think the single biggest thing that indicates is that Sammy's folding his button right off more often.
Right. this has gone check, check on the flop. Durrrr now. Very nice turn card.
5,000.
I mean, if you're Sammy, do you feel like, yeah, you feel like the 7 or 10 could have been good if you got that, or it just doesn't matter?
You thought so long over 6,000.
I think I would often take a stab there in Sammy's spot. He's got the gut shot, either at the pair outs is pretty likely to be live. You gotta wonder if he picked something up on Tom, either just from his tendencies or from something physical he saw there. He did a good job getting away from what could have been a spot where I probably would have lost a bet, if not two.
I mean, Durrrr is a guy who is considered such a good technical player.
Yeah.
What do you think, as far as him playing live, what do you think adjustments he's making sort of for tells and that sort of thing as far as watching Sammy?
I wonder.
You know, how do you find it with yourself, someone who really started playing on the internet as well?
I've definitely had to make a very conscious effort to not give things away when I play live. I have started only in the past year or so to get in the habit of playing very methodically, taking the same amount of time on all my actions, trying to make my movements as mechanical as I can. And Tom is pretty good about that too. He takes his time, though he always tends to act pretty quickly. And
this has been an interesting pot. Durrrr bet the flop. Sammy led the turn.
Kings.
Oh.
No.
And probably the 10, the worst card in the deck for Sammy. Do wonder if he was preparing to bluff the river.
quite possibly. I wonder. He did something there that was sort of similar to what he did in the 8-5 hand, where he called on the flop, and in the 8-5 hand he called again on the turn, and then bet the river when it became clear that was the only way he was going to win. He did a similar thing here, where he check-called with a flush draw on the flop, and then bet the turn because he didn't want to have to either check-call or check-fold. And I wonder if he's going to be doing that with strong hands to balance that out, or if that's a betting pattern that Tom is going to be able to pick up on and pick off some bluffs in those spots.
And that's really the killer in heads up. Any tendency that you repeat?
Yeah. That you repeat and that you don't balance. Because if he does that also with, you know, ace-10 from time to time, it becomes very difficult for Tom to play against that on the turn. But if it's always a flush draw.
Sort of have to have this inner clock in your head about how often you do certain things.
Absolutely.
Very tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Durrrr, who's flop top pair.
5,000.
And he's pretty confident he's ahead here.
Yeah, I would think so. He's bound to be a little worried, if anything, that he might be behind trip threes. It'd be pretty plausible for Sammy to have flopped trip threes and checked back. Though there was also a hand earlier in the match where Sammy had flopped top pair with king-queen on a king 3-2 board or something like that, and checked it back. So Sammy is capable of checking back with a strong top pair or something that would be ahead on that turn.
3,000.
Raise up to 3,000. Raise up to 12,000.
And Sammy now with the re-raise.
My cards, it's like that.
Oh, you didn't look.
Hello.
I call.
Call.
I don't think we've seen Durrrr fold to the 3-bet yet.
No, I don't suppose we have.
Like in Omaha, players never do, but in Hold'em they do sometimes. This might
Definitely.
be one of the kind of hands you wouldn't be like thrilled about calling with, or
At least it's suited. Suited and it's got one big card. It's got some things going for it.
what now?
26,000.
Flush draw.
Probably just call. You don't want to raise and let Sammy re-raise you, and then you can't call it off for your 250 big blind stack, but you're folding a hand with a lot of value.
And the idea being that you call here, not just because of the odds of the pot, but because of how much you're going to get if you hit the flush sort of thing, how deep
Absolutely,
he is.
and at the same time, he also might get to win the pot without improving. Say Sammy has something like ace-king here, and the turn comes an 8 or a 7 or whatever, and then he check folds.
This pot now big, and if it doesn't come the club, it hasn't. Is Tom now have to be prepared to give this up?
Well, he's picked up a pair as well, so he has a lot of equity, even against an overpair here. And with a hand like ace-king or ace-queen picking up a gut shot on that card, you can expect Sammy to be semi-bluffing fairly often, so Tom can't even be completely certain that he doesn't have the best hand here if Sammy bets.
Sammy checked it.
Interesting. I wonder if Tom will bet or not. If he does bet, he has to be prepared to call a shove, so...
I wonder why Sammy did check. Oy, oy, oy.
I can only assume Sammy was going for the check raise there. The stacked to pot ratio is such that that would work out well. Tom bets 50 and Sammy moves in for 220 or whatever it is. I don't hate his turn check at all.
15,000.
Feels like a pretty scary bet because that 9 of clubs on the river, I mean, Tom could easily have played a 9 like this as well.
Possibly. I think he bets it on the turn a lot of the time. I think Sammy thinks he bets it on the turn a lot of the time. Or he'd be a little more reluctant to bet on that card. And I have to imagine Tom's going to move in here. Or at least make a big raise.
Wow, Sammy gets the ace-king against the aces, and now the kings against a flush.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
All in.
And that's pretty much the story. The big sigh. I mean, it's painful.
This is a tough spot. This is a very tough spot. Tom could be doing this as a bluff with something like pocket 7s or 8s, something like ace high. A definite consideration here is Tom has something like ace queen with the ace of clubs, so he knows that Sammy can't have the nuts and moves in on a bluff. There's no street where I'd be confident Tom would do anything other than what he has with a hand like ace queen with the ace of clubs.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you can say to yourself, if you're Durrrr, that Sammy probably doesn't have 3 9s because of the 3-bet and that sort of thing. I mean, it's not a bad spot to try and bluff, is it?
No, it's really not. Sammy very often has something exactly like what he has. Even if he has 3 9s, he's got to think about folding it. Tom's representing a flush here.
Right now, he's wishing he didn't bet, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot more comfortable to just check and call one pot-sized bet here than it is to face the shove. And so soon after he lost that other huge pot, that the amount of money involved, it's bound to be getting to him here. Getting stacked 2 hands nearly back-to-back is not much fun.
Wonder what it's going to come down to.
And then at the same time, he might be thinking, Tom is thinking he doesn't want to get stacked twice in a row.
It's a good pass.
Yeah, that's a good laydown.
And Durrrr does not show it that time. He'll keep Sammy thinking because that's going to keep him uneasy.
Yeah, he can tell Sammy's a little uncomfortable right now. Last thing he wants to do is to make him feel good.
I'll tell you after. Is that fair?
Could you BB me it?
I'll tell you after? Like after the...
I didn't know you could tell me at Nova. You can tell me over there, otherwise that's not going to go down.
Alright, fair enough.
Blind checks.
Was it a good fold? That's what I need to know.
I'll tell you after.